morning, everyone. My name is Zayden Vitali, and today I will be discussing my research about melting glaciers and how they affect the Earth's oceans. So the main question is, to what extent does the melting of glaciers in the mountains of Europe harm the oceans, and how can we prevent it? This is pertaining to the effects it has on the currents and sea level, which I will touch on later, as well as the properties of the water. So the world's oceans are often defined as unclean and neglected by today's standards, and the health of the ocean is rapidly continuing to decline as society persists with their unhealthy tendencies. There are several reasons why the ocean is unhealthy, but the ones that really stand out to me are the glaciers, because this is preventable and it's going to cause catastrophic damage. Among other problems, melting ice stands out because it's happening so rapidly. So this chart right here from NASA Climate Change, it shows the change in millimeters within the past few centuries of the sea level. And as you can clearly see, there's a strong positive relationship between time and sea level. So over here we have the years 1880 to 2020, and here from -50 to 250 millimeters. You can see the positive relationship, and over the years that has drastically increased. So according to a document published by the University Corporation for Atmospheric Research, the Earth's oceans follow a circulation known as the global ocean conveyor. That is the name given to the major circulation system the globe follows. Ocean water circulates around the globe, creating flows that are known as thermohaline currents. These are driven by temperature and the salinity in the water. So what significance does this have to my argument? Well, as the Earth continues to warm, more ice is melting into the ocean and causing the amount of fresh water to increase. Now, we all know that most of the world's oceans are meant to be salty, and most creatures living under the water depend on the dense salt water to survive. This water from the melting ice is making seawater at higher latitudes less salty, meaning it's becoming much less dense than it should be. Unless the temperature of the water can decrease enough to compensate for this, the thermohaline circulation won't be able to persist, and the global ocean conveyor will stop. Ironically enough, a stop to the global ocean conveyor will substantially decrease the average temperature of northern Europe, as it would cool down 5 to 10 degrees Celsius. But even a minor slowdown could lead to pretty substantial cooling. So some might say that melting glaciers isn't our biggest concern. Perhaps it's the overfishing or acidification of the ocean. While we should strive to solve every problem with the ocean, it's clear that the melting of ice should be at the top of our priorities, since it can cause flooding for coastal cities and a drastic alteration in the temperature for some areas. A drop of 5 to 10 degrees Celsius is an astronomical change, as well as the flooding of coastal cities, which we've seen with natural disasters. So the definite answer to this question is to cut down on the use of industrial equipment and common things that burn fuel, as this is what heats the Earth up in the first place. After all, these glaciers are melting for no reason. It's because we heated the Earth. Any questions that I can answer?
Two questions I have for you. First up, how did your research question evolve as you went through the process?
So originally I didn't touch on how we could fix it, like that part at the end, because I think it was so far that there was really no going back, but we can kind of help aid it by cutting down on our use of resources that can harm the Earth.
Okay, and if you had more time, what additional research would you have done?
So I would have looked more into how and where the flooding could happen, because I know we live in Florida, so if the sea level does rise, we can lose a lot of land.
You're done.